Let us quickly define what the hollow mind perceiver is. The hollow mind perceiver is an evolving organ that comes in the form of a circuit board, as we can see the picture on here, and it's telepathically imprinted. You weren't born with it in the natural 3D, but it's imprinted as we self evolve. It activates our seventh sense. Remember, we have six senses plus one. Well, the hollow mind perceiver, this is our seventh sense, and it's designed to operate with the Earth's mind, what we call the noosphere. So, as part of the hollow mind perceiver, we have 20 solar seals or archetypes plus
Mhm.
one. Now, the 21 archetypes can be embodied by everyone. They're doorways into multi-dimensional realities where we can experience different stages of each of these archetypes. And what we want to do is start off with first listing the four archetypes that represent the four gates of light in the universe. That's going to be the red dragon, the gate of
Hey.
being. It's the primal force, ancient of days. We're going to go by the color code that we learned last week. White is the white wind, high priest or priestess. It is the lady of the winds. Then the third light gate in the universe is the blue night that we call the dreamer, which establishes the court of the cosmic compassionate one. It is also the psychic presence. It is a bestower of riches. And when we say riches, of course, automatically, if we are too mundane, we might think of money, we might think of materialism. But in this case, we're talking about the richness of our powers, of our
Mm.
gifts, of our paranormal activities that a lot of times we forsake. That includes telepathy and so forth. Then the fourth gate we have is the yellow seed, what we call the innocent. Okay, the innocent one establishes the court of the pathfinder. It is also known as the holy fool, the seeker, the red serpent, because we're going red, white, blue, yellow. So the red serpent is the initiate, it is the hermetic keeper of the wisdom of sex. Okay, then we come to the white world bridger, which is the Hierophant, the holder of the treasury of death, the equalizer. So let us
Mm.
not get spooked out about the name death, okay, or the word death. A lot of times
Mhm.
we welcome death in our life. We like to see the death of taxes. We don't, when we don't owe. We want to see the death of any situation that's unsettling. We want to see the death of it. The seventh archetype is the blue hand, which we call the avatar, and that is the accomplisher of knowledge. It is the exemplar. You know, if you want to know how to foundational build, the hand, the blue hand is the exemplar of that. Then we move into a different court as we continue on with our red, white, blue, now yellow. And we come to the yellow star, which is the artist. It is the keeper of beauty, the master builder. The art is the beginning of love. Then we have the red moon, which is the healer. It is the purifier, the naturalist. It is the moon priestess. Then the last archetype for this particular court is the white dog, the compassionate one, the peacemaker, the holder of the heart teachings. That's pretty deep to me.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
holder of the heart teachings. The blue monkey is the magician, the lord of the
Mhm.
game, shapeshifter. Magic is the beginning of prophecy, and we are in the court of prophecy. Then we
Mhm.
have the yellow human, which is the sage, the governor, the wise judge. The 13th archetype, which would be red, because we're starting all over again now with the red, white, blue, yellow. So the red is the Skywalker. Skywalker is the prophet, the renewer of culture, the world
Mhm.
teacher. Okay.
Mhm.
14, we go to white, and that's going to be the wizard. And the wizard is just a wisdom holder, knower of the mysteries. Then we have the blue eagle, which is the seer. It is the
Mhm.
visionary. It is the star emissary. The last but not least in this particular court of intelligence where we are now, we have the yellow warrior. And that's called the pathfinder, the code breaker, the intelligent agent who's going to ask those intelligent questions, right? It is the
Mhm.
cosmic scientist. Now, when we start to put the meat on the bones of these archetypes, we can begin to get a picture of humanity, of ourselves, of things that that we may identify with personally. Now we go into the inner court. The first one is going to be the red earth, which is the navigator. The navigator is the map maker, the galactic archivist, keeper of the synchronic codes. That's going to be the red earth. And the red earth is the Huneb Ku's
Mm.
emissary of intelligence of this court. Same
Gotcha.
way with the white mirror, known as the Yogini. It is the meditative master, holder of the transcendental wisdom. That is going to be the Hunebku's emissary of knowledge. Notice that this is the court of knowledge above it. Then we keep going in this particular inner court, and we see the blue storm, the catalyzer, the transformer, the master alchemist. And that's the Hunebku's emissary of love. And we have that right here in the court of compassion that represents healing and love and art and beauty and abundance and the whole thing. Isn't that beautiful? Last but
Mhm.
not least, we have the yellow sun, known as Ahau. Now, this is the enlightened one, the bringer of higher truth, the renewer
Mhm.
of life. It is the Hunebku's emissary of the court of prophecy. Look at the archetypes that's in the court of prophecy. We talked about the magician being the shapeshifter.
Mhm.
Okay, we talked about the prophet, the Skywalker. I straight out said the prophet. We know the white wind is the high priestess. I mean, if that's not a giveaway, I don't know what could be. And then the
Yeah.
sage. We started off saying 21 archetypes, right? We know 20 is stands for totality, but 21 stands for unity of totality. It brings it all together.
Mm.
All right, we're going to move on to the 13 tones. Now, the majority of us are not used to defining tones. We're not. We're not used to, talking about what does that sound mean, especially if we don't take music, right? So, tones, putting it into words, we don't do it, but we will kind of identify with it with what we hear when we hear a tone. In other words, we know how to react when we bust a move to a sound that we like, right? Or we're singing along with a song that we like, and we know that note getting ready to come. We're gonna hit that note with the singer. That inspires us, doesn't it? Those are the ways how we react to tones. How many of us define tones as powers and actions and essences? But see, as fallen sky people, what we are fallen sky people. We are awakening to who we are. And we have to know what tools we're working with in order to create what we want, to eliminate what we don't. And by learning how to operate cosmic tones properly, like everybody else in this Milky Way galaxy. We can't no longer just sit out here idle and retarded, okay? Not when we have this information. So let's begin with the magnetic tone. The power is to unify, the action is to attract, and the essence is purpose. When you go to lunar tone, now we're polarizing. Action to stabilize, essence to challenge, to polarize. If you want to have riches. Okay? If you know that this is just an example, then you got two of them. You're going to automatically get both. You get poor and rich. But which one are you going to polarize to and then stabilize it? Because that's the challenge. So electric
Mhm.
tone the same. Activate bond service. Self-existing, to define, to measure, to form. Overtone is to empower, command, and radiance. Rhythmic, organize, balance, equality. Resonant, channel, inspire, attunement. Galactic, harmonize, model, integrity. Now, solar, pulse, realize, intention. What is pulse? You know, when I first started learning these tones, I couldn't seem to understand pulse. I tried to use it in different sentences, but yet I just didn't understand what the power of pulse was. Well, pulse, it is the central point of energy and organization. When I thought about it like that, I can't have an intention without a pulse. When we go to planetary, we all know this one by heart: perfect, produce, manifest. That's one of the easiest tones for anybody to remember. And then spectral, to dissolve, release, and liberate. Now, you can't have liberation unless you shut something down. All right, let's go to crystal. Dedicate, universalize, cooperation. And then last but not least is the cosmic tone: endure, transcend, and then presence. All right. Now we at the chakras. The chakras are our energy systems. We know that they're connected to cosmic electricity, as we can see on the graph there. Electricity, radio plasmas, and we see the intergalactic channels. Along our spine and corpus callosum is this graph, and it operates like this: the crown, then the root, then the third eye, the sacral chakra, or this secret center. Then we have the throat chakra. Then we go to the solar plexus chakra. And then the last one, which will be the heart chakra. Let's go right on into the mental spheres, 6 plus 1. Now, earlier we defined the hollow mind perceiver as our seventh sense that opens up a whole new cosmic reality for us. And here we look at the location of the mental spheres on the hollow mind perceiver. We're going to start off with the first quadrant. It is called preconscious, or the paranormal sphere. First time dimension, first mental sphere. Then we have the next quadrant, which is the sub or unconscious. The next mental sphere is waking conscious mediumship, which is the third mental sphere. The fourth mental sphere is the continuing consciousness. The fifth mental sphere is going to be superconscious. The sixth mental sphere is the subliminal conscious. And then the plus one will be the enlightenment, where we see the whole middle is going to represent hyperplasmic enlightenment. Seventh mental sphere, a noospheric sensing device. You want to get with the noosphere because if you have to be in a matrix, you might as well be in the natural matrix. The natural nature, cosmic matrix involves Mother Earth's mind, because she's not only going to put you into what's happening on her planet, but also what's happening in the cosmos. It's a sensing device. AI is not going to do that. AI is doing whatever they, which are the entities, the low vibrating entities, whatever they program them to do. But we're programming ourselves through a higher knowledge, okay, that comes from Sirius. All right. So, yeah. This is the seat of soul memory. We're talking about the hollow mind perceiver, the seventh mental sphere, that middle part, okay, that went from the front of the head to the back of the head. That's the Akashic records. That's how you get to them, through the mental sphere. We're talking about the life summation of all experiences. You can access your own stuff. Don't let nobody else access your Akashic records. You can do it yourself. And you can come up and write a program to keep anybody else from coming into your Akashic records and reading it and getting stuff. Because people are low down today. They're doing all kind of stuff today for money, okay? Or just so they can know for whatever reason. No, to hell with that. We're we're sober minded. We know that it's good and evil out here. So we want to be able to have control of our own Akashic records. And I wanted to make it known that I got this highlighted about the central corpus callosum of the higher self, not your physical 3D corpus callosum self. Okay? The hollow mind perceiver begins in the corpus callosum of the 5D. Okay? And then it's telepathically imprinted onto the 3 and 4D self. But it starts from the 5th dimension. That's why it's called self-evolution. Nobody gonna come along and just put that on you like that, and you didn't ask for it. You have to prove that you want it through your own self-evolving. Then it begins to be getting printed on there, getting put on there. All the codes getting put on there. Next thing you know, you thinking differently. You seeing synchronicity. You operating in this zone, okay? You know how to do things. People coming to you for answers and questions. And you may not even understand why, but you do understand why. So study and meditation, all of this, it helps prepare the mind to open to those galactic dimensions, so we can receive an entirely new base of knowledge and perception. That's why the hollow mind perceiver is important. A lot of people I don't know what I need that for. Yo, you really need this. This is your only defense. Why do I say that? Because look, this is the information that our ancestors have given us. What more do we want? Damn. We got to do something. We want them to hold our hand and wipe our ass at the same time. Just like that child that's on the toilet, learning how to use the bathroom 10th time, and you tired of wiping his ass. At some point, he's going to stop calling because ain't nobody going to come. He's got to reach his hand over to that toilet paper and roll him some off of there and wipe his own. Am I right? Is that how he's going to learn? Because nobody's going to come for you till they see the light. When they see your light, what is the light? It's knowledge. And then operating in that knowledge. Oh, don't think they ain't going to come for you. Do you think that this all is going to go down in a smoke and they're not going to come for you? Yes, they will. In their ships. Come for you.